Alright. Hi Miss Bush, this is my first vlog for my AP Lang assignment. I decided to read All My Sons by Arthur Miller, and unfortunately the library did not have just that play, so I got this lovely volume of everything he's ever written that I've been getting to carry around with me all the time. So fun. So I guess I'll just get started. The whole first page is just the setting and stuff. It describes the house a little bit, and it says that it would have cost perhaps $15,000 in the early 20s when it was built, which I asked my mom and she said that that would have been a pretty expensive house back then. So I guess the Kellers, who live here, have money. They've got like trees around it and garden chairs, etc. Just describing things. When it starts explaining Joe Keller and kind of like a little bit about him, it says like, when he reads, when he speaks, when he listens, it is with the terrible concentration of the uneducated man, for whom there is still wonder in many commonly known things. A man whose judgments must be dredged out of experience and a peasant-like common sense. So I'm thinking probably didn't go to a lot of extra school or whatever, but like was immediately like just kind of a working man and providing for a family, whether that was like his parents when he was younger or whether it's like his family now. But then it says something kind of interesting. It says a man among men. It just seems like an interesting thing to say, and I'm hoping that the story will explain that, I guess. I would think it just means like, let's see, a man among men. I think it probably means like he's just a man. He's like every other man, like just kind of a common person, I guess. When did he write this? It was written in 1947. Fun fact. One of the first conversations in the play is Joe Keller and Jim and Frank, his neighbors, and they're talking about how a tree that's in Keller's yard like blew down in a windstorm the night before, and how it's a pity and whatever. But then Frank says something interesting. He says, Larry was born in August. He'd been 27 this month, and his tree blows down. So who's Larry? Oh, Larry was reported missing on November 25th, right? That's Frank again. So Larry's someone who went missing, and I guess died. My camera died. How rude. Anyway, so one of Keller's neighbors is named Frank, and he seems like kind of a superstitious guy to me. Like he's making a horoscope for the son that died. I think he might also be a little old-fashioned. This other neighbor, Jim, is a doctor. I think is a bit more educated, and maybe he and Frank have a bit of a... Jim sees Frank as just kind of like, ugh, idiot. It just seems like that a little bit. He tells Frank to stop talking like a civics book, and like, oh, but you believe in anything kind of thing. Like there just seems to be a bit of a uncomfortableness between them, like a bit of a head-to-head. That just sort of seems to be the vibe I'm getting between those two characters. There's a lot of other characters we meet too. We meet both Frank and Jim's wives. Jim's wife Sue and Frank's wife Lydia, and Keller's son Chris, who would have been Larry's brother. There's this little kid named Bert. I don't really understand what his role in this story is, other than to maybe just show us a little bit more about Keller, because he just kind of plays with the local kids, pretends that he owns a jail and they have to keep an eye out in the neighborhood for him. The author doesn't really explain like how he's connected to the rest of them, other than like, I guess he lives in the same neighborhood. There's a girl visiting the Kellers named Annie, and she used to be Larry's girl, but it sounds as though Chris likes Annie now and wants to get married to her. But to Mother, aka Mrs. Keller, she doesn't think that Larry's gone. She won't accept that. So she doesn't want Chris and Annie to be together, because that means that Annie gave up on Larry and like is accepting that, oh, he's gone, he's never coming back. So there's kind of a tension there. And Chris talks to his dad and is like, get Mother to understand that Annie's not gonna wait forever. And Keller, I think, is a little bit, doesn't want to be in conflict, doesn't want to have to confront Mother or say no to his son. Not very helpful at all. Keller's also a bit adamant about the fact that, no, Chris is going to have his business someday because I built all this up for you and you're going to inherit it and you're not leaving. What he built for Chris and the family, he doesn't want that to be wasted. He wants it to be appreciated and continue on. There's an allusion to historical figure Thomas Edison, just in a passing comment. Literary devices, or rhetorical devices, because that's what they're called now. And then we see Anne for the first time, or Annie, as most of them call her, and it says that Anne is 26, gentle, but despite herself capable of holding fast to what she knows. So I have a feeling that whether Mother likes it or not, if Annie wants to marry Chris, she's not going to let Mrs. Keller get in her way. And I think Chris kind of feels the same way, but he wants his mother to be okay with it, you know? So I think that about wraps it up for my first vlog about All My Sons by Arthur Miller. So I will see you again soon. Goodbye.